So business makes the world go round. Now, what do I mean by that? What am I talking about? Well, let's go back to the origins of this because the reason I want to talk to you about this is because business is so important for your life. Even if you don't believe you're ever going to start your own business or you're not going to work in management in a business, just understanding the system that you live in is incredibly important. So let's jump in. Number one, where did business come from? So let's go back to the beginnings, the idea of we all do everything we need for ourselves. We all are hunter gatherers. We gather our food, we build our shelter, we do all these things. Now, fast forward, people begin to commune or come together. People have to specialize to do things that they do best to allow others to do what they do best, and then you're going to trade whatever is the output of your effort. This goes back to the fundamentals of economics. If you've ever taken an economics course or you take an economics course on thebusinessprofessor.com, a fundamental principle. Adam Smith said that individuals specialize in what they do, and then they can ultimately trade the value that they produce for the value that others produce. Now, the economic concepts come into play when people are allocating their finite resources. If you want something very badly, that is, someone else does something and there's not a lot of supply of it, but you either want or need it, you're going to give more of the value that you have for what they have. And thus, the value of what we create is relative to how badly other people want it and how much supply there is of that out there for people to have. So if you have something that's very scarce, people are going to pay more for it if they want it badly. So we have the economic system beginning to form here as to what things are worth. But continue to fast forward a bit. So when you have this level of specialization, all of a sudden, business organizations begin to form. That is, people come together and say, collectively, we could produce more than we can individually. So let's group together, create a value proposition, and then we can provide that value proposition to others. Now, a group or organization together isn't going to need the thing that other people are producing in itself at large. So they came up with a medium of exchange, that is money. So money could be exchanged for the value being created among individuals. And this is what allows for the creation of markets. So individuals came together, they produced things of value, they received back money, which is representative value, and then they could distribute that money among the individuals who came together to produce. Now, even within that organization, there are going to be individuals who do things that are more valuable than others. So you have these microeconomies starting to form. Individuals that are doing more highly sought after or important skills will generally receive more of the compensation, and those will receive less. And then you fast forward just a little bit further and you say individuals began to come up with ideas for doing things, but they didn't have the resources to bring others together. So they would secure resources from others, that is, investors, to put into business so they could create the business, they could hire individuals in specified tasks, and ultimately the business model that we see today in modern, primarily capitalist systems formed. You have ownership that is oftentimes separate from the business. The business is an entity existing unto itself, and the employees of the business, that's from the CEO down to the lowest level employee in the organization, is part of a microeconomy there, and they receive value based upon how much value they bring to the organization versus how much of that same skilled labor is out there in the economy for hire. So ultimately, if the business can deliver value to the public and receive back another type of value, generally money, from doing that thing, then there you go. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you have business models come in. Take Facebook's business model, for example. They deliver value to people, but they don't charge any money. They take the value that they receive from people, which is their attention. That is, their presence or their eyes looking at a screen, and they are able to convert that into a different type of value that they want. That is, they are able to deliver that value to marketers who wish to access you, to advertise to you based upon your characteristics that they know. So they can sell that value to them, that is access to you. And that's where we get into things like business models. And then you get into things like, oh, well, if I do this type of business and somebody else does this type of business, we begin to compete with each other. If we compete with each other, we are generally going to steal business from each other. That is, we are going to split the available market for the people that we serve out there in the market. And we'll also start to figure out ways to do it. So there is the essence of strategy, how we compete with others and the things we hope to accomplish by our tactics and strategies that we implement to compete. And of course, we have to actually run our business. So there's the area of operations, and operations concerns itself largely with how we carry out the tasks within the business efficiently. And then we have marketing, which primarily focuses on the ability to identify the needs and wants of customers, to present it to them in a way that is appealing to them, to simply make them aware of what we're doing and the value propositions that we offer. Then you have accounting come in, because all of these transactions, these exchanges of value that are taking place, we have to keep up with it. So all of a sudden, accounting becomes a thing. And then you have management. So we talked about the organization is just a huge group of people. So ultimately, you have to manage these people, because a lot of people can do a lot of productive things, but you have to allocate them, your human resource, to the task that the organization needs. So that's the role of managers. And there are levels of managers, because managers, a high-level manager, the CEO, can't do it all, him or herself. So you have sub-managers who focus on different areas of the business and different functions in the business. And these sub-managers allocate different roles and responsibilities to the individuals whom they supervise. And so ultimately, the tasks that the organization need to carry out are distributed to the individuals throughout the organization. The organization functions as efficiently and effectively as possible, and the managers report that information back up to the top. The CEO translate that information to the representatives of the owners of the business. In large companies that are corporations that have external shareholders who are the owners of the corporation, they elect representatives. They are known as the board of directors, or the directors of the board that run the high-level affairs of the company. They hire the CEO. So the CEO is reporting all this operational activity and information back to the board of directors, and ultimately the board of directors reports that to the shareholders. And if the company is profitable, those shareholders receive money for the money that they've put in to own part of that company. And for the individuals working in the organization, they get paid a representative wage based upon the value that they bring to the organization compared with the availability of others out there in the marketplace to deliver that value. So once again, just like a product, an individual employee and the value they bring to the organization is subject to these market forces. So more or less, these are the most prominent, well-known, or understood areas of business. And this is the way our society runs. Everything that you can think about in our daily lives, from our homes to where we get our food, to how we travel, to how we interact or communicate with others, all is based upon the idea of delivering value to others and these simple principles that surround the idea of business practice. So when I say that business makes the world go round, it truly does. It affects everything about our life more than pretty much anything else in our lives on a daily basis. So that's my point for today. Keep it in mind, and that's why you need to understand business, even if you never intend to be a business professional. So, hope to see you in the Business Professor community soon. Till then, take care. Hello, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the content, and please pardon the interruption. I just want to take a moment to remind you that this is just a small sample of the various resources we have in our academy at thebusinessprofessor.com. We have long-form book summaries, business courses, business and legal templates, a career TV channel, an AI-powered business encyclopedia, recent headlines, and lots of other benefits to explore as well. So please, I hope to see you as a member of the community sometime in the future.